So, oddly enough, as someone who likes to draw a lot of female characters, someone who likes to do a lot of art of more spicier variety, I was tagged to check this one out called The Problem with Women in Games. So, if you guys don't know, I'm heavily against censorship when it comes to gaming in any form, when it comes to females, anything. Just don't do it, man. I think it's straight up ass. And I was legit told to check out this video by multiple people, so we're gonna check this out by the background NPC. That is a dope name, by the way. All right, but to show our solidarity in the problem with to show our solidarity with female game characters and that we don't need any censorship. Here you go, bro. I got you. There, boom. There we go, bro. I'm in. Let's get it.
Hi, I think I'm starting to spiral here. In every other kind of media, shows, books, movies, we expect characters to be these complex, emotionally layered, and oftentimes attractive people. CD Projekt Red gave us Geralt in a bathtub, and the entire internet said, absolute cinema. But when a female game character is hotter, suddenly it's like the studio committed some kind of war crime. And somewhere between 2014 and now, these types of women just started disappearing more and more from our Western games.
They are just genuinely gone at this point. Like, people have been told not to make them anymore.
Beauty and charm, mystery, lip gloss, and the ability to just ruin your life with a single dialogue option. So let's talk about the modern female protagonist.
Okay,
How
this
did you
I
feel
gotta
when
know.
I said that?
This I gotta see.
That's what I thought. Typically, they're more emotionally walled off. They're vaguely angry.
Right?
Honestly.
Why? Can someone explain that to me? Why? Like, why is that the thing? Like, why being emotionally and angry and always putting down every other male character in the game is like a new thing? Like, why is that the new trend? That I generally do not understand that, but I'm sorry. I just had to kick that off immediately.
Me too. They have tactical everything, tragic backstories, but a lot of times won't talk about it with you. Muted color palettes, and no cute hairstyles or makeup.
But, dude! This is, like the Fable 4 chick looks like a man. I don't care what anybody says. You know, okay, I went to school for animation and 3D design. I've actually worked for 2 game studios and 2 VFX houses. Bro, I can tell you legit, it did not look like this 10 years ago. Not even 10 years ago was it like this. Now, I don't know who's at the helm, and it looks like a waking nightmare. But I digress. Let's continue.
Or joy, and they normally display more masculine traits.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that these characters can never work. But if they're not done extremely well, the issue isn't just that so many of them fall flat. It's that they don't resonate.
Yes. Okay. Oh man. All right. First of all, guys, let me apologize to the folks here for pausing so much, like every generally 30 seconds. It's just that everything she's saying is legit facts that I've been wanting to say for the longest time. I myself was actually going to make a video about this on this channel, but I'm glad that she's at least jumping the helm and talking about it. It is so genuinely annoying. For example, the 2 females right here on screen, they are from Wolfenstein, the latest Wolfenstein series. I can't even remember the name of the game. I think it wasn't New Order, it wasn't New Colossus, it's the one after New Colossus, and it straight up sucked. It was so bad. It was so heartbreaking. You don't get to play as BJ Blazkowicz. Instead, you get to play as his 2 daughters, who nobody wanted to play as. And the game was horrendously bad. I played it, and miraculously enough, I was able to get my money back from Sony. But I straight up had to just lie, but I got my money back from Sony regardless. I have never played such a bad game in my life, and that was just the tip of the iceberg. After that, it just got worse. It was just like a quick snowball effect. But sorry for pausing it. Let's just get back to it.
At all. They're not iconic, they're not aspirational, and they're just not the kind of character you want to think about after the credits roll. And just like the women that I obsess over in all my books and TV shows, the smart, complex, stunning characters, I just want to aspire to the character that I'm playing in a game. She should feel powerful and gorgeous and emotionally relatable in a way that makes sense. But most of the leads that we're getting,
I was genuinely so into the topic, I did not realize I was blocking this poor woman's face on OBS. My fault. Let's get back to it.
They're not memorable, and let's be honest, they're not exactly breaking the internet, okay? At least in a good way.
Nope. From Concord to Fair Games to Fable 4 to the latest Wolfenstein to how that one chick looked in Last of Us to Abby to it's like a weird effect.
The characters that really stand out, that make a difference, they've got it all. They've got the looks and the charm and the presence and the personality.
Facts.
And they've got the things that make people care.
100%.
Or at least cosplay.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't want to over-sexualize her. Okay,
Alright.
that's fine. I'm on board with that. But somewhere along the way, that turned into she can't flirt or cry or be too gentle or smile too much or wear makeup. Yes, sorry.
Dude, can I just say, could you imagine that for every character? That's on street ass. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Could you imagine, like, okay, we don't want to over-sexualize her. All right, fair. Not every female character needs to be Gooner bait. All right, totally cool. But with that being said, they said, okay, you can't turn her into a she can't flirt, she can't smile, she can't even she can't human. Basically, she can't emote. She has to be like a machine almost.
Hit on that a little bit today.
Yeah.
We went from don't objectify her to don't let her feel like a real person.
Yeah.
And she can be strong, but not soft.
Nope.
Beautiful, but only if it's on accident. Heaven forbid
so
she has
weird.
feelings and good hair at the same time. And I
Yeah,
think about
so
this every
weird.
time that I get the opportunity to make a custom character in a game. She is always a baddie that has lore.
Facts,
Winged
me
eyeliner,
too.
Mysterious aura. Every
Me too.
NPC in the game is in love with her. And
I love the refreshing. I love the euphoric refreshing experience when I got to customize my character in Mecha Break. I made her an immediate baddie the second I knew I could. I just went and did it.
honestly, they should be, okay? My tab in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
An angel. She walks into a scene and the lighting just poof gets better.
Oh, yeah,
Gale
for sure.
starts sweating and Asterion is chomping at the bit. Shadowheart's having some conflictions. And her inventory
Exactly.
is even more iconic. She's got 3 cursed rings, an apple, and a morally questionable tiara that she just doesn't want to take off. And it
Oh,
just makes
there
you
you go.
wonder, because if certain games let you create characters with so much charm and magnetism, why can't games with dedicated
I
female leads do the same thing?
genuinely
Well,
don't
what are
know.
some of the more recent female leads that we've been graced with? I think about Frey from Forspoken. She can fight dragons and bend the laws
I
of
did not like
physics
her
and literally
personality.
parkour across dimensions. That's super cool. But for some reason, they gave her the most awkward dialogue and had her
Yeah.
deliver every line like she was on hold with customer service.
Basically.
On mute. What about Kay Vess from Star Wars
Oh,
Outlaws?
gosh, hated her
She's a
design.
scrappy space outlaw, in theory. In practice, she kind of just plays like she just respawned from a bug and
Yep.
isn't sure where she is or why she's there. Okay, well, what about female Ivor from Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Actually, she was
is it?
canonically the real one. But you
Alright.
probably wouldn't know that because even Ubisoft was like, dang, that's crazy. Anyway, check out this guy's
Wow.
beard. Or
fire.
Dragon Age The Veilguard. This game was like 10 years in
Oh,
the oven,
gosh.
and somehow
And it
still
still
came out
fumbled.
soggy. It often felt cringy instead of charming,
Oh,
and there
100%.
really wasn't much mystery, but there was a lot of
it's still fumbled. Like, and it wasn't even like humorously cringy. Like humorously cringy right now, for example, would be a good example of like me switching between this to this. That's humorously cringy, right? Dragon Age, you had 10 years. A decade, that's not you trying to be humorously cringy and whatnot. Bro, you were trying to make a masterpiece and you fumbled.
And instead of emotionally rich companions, we kind of just got chronically online Twitter bios
Yep.
and fantasy outfits. I think you get the
It's
point,
so weird.
but I'm gonna say it anyway. We need female characters with range. With presence,
Yep.
with a little drama, if you will. The girls
Exactly.
who made you feel something were not perfect. They were messy and charismatic and complicated in the best way.
100%.
Sadie Adler from Red Dead 2, her husband literally dies, and
Yeah.
she goes, cool, I'm going feral now. And grieving?
Yeah.
Yes. Stunning? Yes. Horse girl?
Better.
Absolutely.
Better
but
written
I would let her
character.
run me over with that horse. Chloe Frazier from Uncharted.
Yes!
She's
Way
flirty
better.
and morally flexible, and
Yes.
somehow still
Good
makes
example.
betrayal feel hot. Tifa
Yeah.
Lockhart from Final
Yep.
Fantasy. She could
W
literally take
examples.
down a behemoth in one hit and then quietly make you some soup and ask if you've been sleeping
Now,
okay.
I just want to quickly say, have you noticed that almost every character that she is referencing right now are from games that came out almost 8 to 10 years ago? Like Plus, she said Chloe from like Uncharted 2. She said Tifa, Lockhart. Like these are way older characters.
Max
From a
from
bygone
Life
era.
is Strange, a super sweet, anxious girl who accidentally rewrote the entire space-time continuum just because she had too many feelings. And honestly, we love a relatable queen. Or Nabooru
fair.
from the Legend of Zelda series.
Yep.
She leads armies and fights evil, and somehow she still looks like she's posing for a Vogue cover the entire
she was
time.
cool, yeah.
Probably my first girl crush. This should not be controversial, but I'll
was
say
from
it.
Chrono Trigger.
We need to bring back a great male leads.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I
not because
100%
women
agree.
can't carry a story, but because we've just like chucked balance off
Yeah,
a
you
cliff.
guys lost
It
the
seems like
narrative.
the knee-jerk reaction to underrepresentation, accusations became all female everything forever, no notes.
100%.
And now, after we've gotten so many forgettable female leads, not you, Ellie and Aloy, my queens, but with all the others, we've hit
And the funny thing is, even with Ellie and Aloy, like, for example, I'll do Aloy first, because I actually enjoyed Horizon 1. I played Horizon 1 during the pandemic, I had nothing to do, I played it, and I actually really enjoyed Horizon 1. Horizon 2 was when things got really weird. Like, they ditched the fact that she was supposed to be, she was supposed to marry the Sun King and become the Queen of Meridian. They made her say, oh, now she's lesbian because, like, you know, the person she was based off was a lesbian, and everything else came out of the water. And it was just this thing. Like, it just came out of nowhere, and everyone's like, oh, okay. And then, like that, they changed her face, and she looked more mannish. It was weird. It was a whole weird thing. Ellie was, well, from what I get, most people didn't like the fact that Joel died in Last of Us 2. I get it. I thought Joel was fire, too. But, yeah. For Ellie, it wasn't really Ellie as much as it was Abby. Abby was just, like, this buff dude which my only question was, like, how are you getting that jacked in the apocalypse? But I digress.
Weird place where the audience is already exhausted before the trailer even ends. And unfortunately, caught in the crossfires of this has been Naughty Dog's new IP, Intergalactic, and Ghost of Yotei. But when I think about just well-written women in games, what's interesting is some of gaming's best women were not even the protagonist, but they were the scene stealers. Ciri from The Witcher 3 is quite literally the entire reason that Geralt is risking his life across these war-torn kingdoms, and she's this complicated, beautiful, just wild young girl who's somehow still more mature than everyone else around her. Or Yuna from Final Fantasy X, this graceful, selfless, and devastating character who's literally carrying the hopes of an entire world on her back, and then she still apologizes when she inconveniences you. And if that's not being a girl, I don't know what is. Or Midna from Twilight Princess. All right, she's a little bit annoying at first, but she bullies Link for like the first 30 hours of the game, saves his life, opens a dimensional portal, and then vanishes all with a glowing tear. He never says a word to her the entire game, but she says everything with her absence.
You're not getting these cool games again, bro. I don't think so. At least not for a hot minute. Like it's gonna slowly come back. Like, I want to say it'll slowly come back because, like, from games like Expedition 33 and more indie projects are doing it better. But for now, in the AAA scope of things, nah, it's not happening.
Truly a legendary situationship. And while Western games are nervously nerfing kind of every trace of femininity from their female characters, 100%. Eastern devs are like, yeah, here's a mysterious woman who could kill you and make you cry about it. You're welcome. Capcom? They've been in their iconic woman era since, like, forever. Resident Evil is one of my all-time favorite series, and Jill is tactical.
Can I just say, I feel like Capcom lost it because they were, like, looking at American consultancy. But now they're slowly coming back. Like, they brought back Mai Shirogane for Street Fighter 6. People loved it. They brought back, like, the design of Jill Valentine being revamped. People loved it. I feel like when the Japanese listen to themselves versus the West, they do a lot better.
And easily has the cleanest bob in gaming. Ada is mysterious, stylish, and she might lie to your face, but she's still gonna get a fan cam. Claire is this beautiful, kind, capable woman who takes zero nonsense. And Lady D has like 10 minutes of screen time in Village, and she still owned Halloween for like the next 2 years. They're hot, they're cool, they've got so much range, and you remember them. You want to be them, or you just kind of want them to emotionally damage you just a little bit. It's the same kind of energy with Monster Hunter Wilds. They dropped a couple of composed, stunning women, and the internet instantly started to cosplay.
Everybody thought, like literally people were categorizing it as a dating sim on Steam. And has Monster Hunter ever been a dating sim? No. like but they said screw it. I would marry her if I could in the game. That's hilarious. That just shows how starved the community was.
Expressive and graceful, and they've just got that magnetism about them. And that's why the boys are in love, the girls are in love, and I am in love. And
Everyone's
then
happy.
we've
Everyone
got
wins.
From Software, who just casually releases the most haunting, elegant women
They're
in modern
really good at
gaming
it.
like it's nothing. The doll from Bloodborne, our favorite Victorian comfort character. She's soft-spoken, she's gentle, and
They're
she
so good
definitely
at it.
knows more than she's letting on. Or Lady Maria, tragic, terrifying character with perfect posture, and 10 out of 10, I would let her fight me again. Or Ronnie from Elden Ring,
I
who
love
I was
Ronnie.
quite literally on my knees for.
Yeah,
and
I
I made
love
sure to do
Ronnie.
every single step of her quest so I could serve her as me Elden Lord. Or
Exactly.
Melina. Melina was so
Melina.
glowing and quiet and just sad. And then when she leaves you at the side of grace, like,
Yeah.
my work here is done. And you're just devastated and you're just sitting there all by yourself, alone, in
Yep.
your little tunic. These ladies
be like
do
that.
not need
It'd be like
exposition dumps or 80 cutscenes.
Nope,
they
they
just
don't.
show up and drip elegance, drop one line of
And we
vague
love
sorrow,
it.
and then next thing you know, you're obsessing over cosplays and fan art for like the next month.
Exactly.
I say all of this because femininity is not outdated.
No.
It's not shallow, and it's not something that you need to water down for the story to be taken
Absolutely
seriously.
not.
It's range. So please let women be cute and manipulative,
Just please,
kind
yeah.
and a little chaotic, soft but have sharp teeth, pretty, powerful, emotionally devastating,
Yeah.
and the reason the protagonist starts journaling in a cave somewhere. Because femininity is Zelda, steadfast
Exactly.
and radiant, and standing between her kingdom
Exactly.
and ruin with nothing but hope and stubborn grace. Or Triss, who's clever and compassionate and plays politics with you with
There
a
you
super
go.
soft smile that just makes you kind of forget that she's winning. Or Bayonetta,
Exactly.
who's playful and
Love
provocative
Bayonetta.
and
I
treats every
loved
battlefield like a
Bayonetta. She
runway
was
and
so-
then
she
never
was so
manages
cool.
to smudge
Loved
her
out
lipstick.
Bayonetta.
Or Lightning, who's a beautiful, guarded and grieving character
Listen
who
listen to all these. All these characters are almost a decade old, but they were so damn good.
who carries the entire weight of the world in 6-inch heels. And when female characters are done right, they're not flat or
Exactly.
abrasive or weak. They're actually narrative gold. They have tension and softness that stabs, or beauty as a weapon. Let's let women be gorgeous and terrifying,
Yes.
sweet and strategic, gentle and unhinged. Let them be feminine again.
Thank you. W video. I don't even care. That was amazing. Hang on. Let me just get out of this one. There we go. Dude. Bro, but I will say that was an awesome video. I actually did like the girl design I quickly did just to say, hey, you know what? Let me just see if I can add my own flair on top of it. With that being said, guys, let me know what you honestly think. Do you actually think that women in gaming or female designed characters can get back to the glory days, like how the East is literally trying to push back into it, which is literally doing it with like girls like Eve from Stellar Blade, 2B from Nier Automata, Tifa from Final Fantasy remake, and etc. Let me know in those comments, because I think it's honestly nuts. I think it needs that work. It needs to come back to its former glory days. When every time it does it, it makes money. Like look at Marvel Rivals. When Emma Frost first dropped, it went gangbusters. Everybody loved it. So with that being said, you guys let me know, and yeah, also let me know if you guys want me to keep this this keep this girl version of my character. And as always, guys, subscribe, give it a like, and I will talk to you guys in the next reaction. All right, you guys take care. Later.